Hello and welcome to another Relationship Friday. It is so good to see everyone. I hope everyone had a great week. It has been a long week. But we made it. We are here. Welcome to another Relationship Friday. Produced by RDH Counseling and Consulting, where we help you become your healthiest self. I am your host and your licensed clinical social worker, Rachel Hunter. It is good to be here. We have some special guests with us, so we are yes. So we are excited to have them here. We're also excited to have you all here as y'all come in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know. We need your help. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes by December 25th. So we need your help. What I need you to do is like the page, share the page, and right now, share this post. Invite your friends, share the post. We want to get our lives out here. We are going to be having some exciting events coming up and activities and programs. So make sure that you also follow the page so that you get the updates when they come. We are going to be having and releasing our self-care, becoming your own best friend group coaching. That's going to be starting shortly. The wait list will be available. So make sure that you are following the page so that you get notified as soon as it becomes available. For those of you all who are tuning in a watch party, hello and welcome. We want to make sure that we hear and see your questions, your comments. So make sure that you are commenting on the left side, which is the live side. We are going to have some fun tonight. I mean, we're talking about a conversation about blended families, and we know that that can be it can be daunting. It can be a daunting task, but it can be done. And it can be done in a way where two families can come together in a very beautiful way. So we're going to talk up to our couple and our guest about that. If you have stories, if you have questions, if you want to come on live and do so, the way to do that, it's in the link. So you can do that as well if you want to come on and share, or if you have questions for our guest about their experience, or if you want to share your experience, feel free to do so. So again, welcome. Let us know where you all are tuning in from as you come in. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Shanti. Welcome. All right. So I am going to have our guests to start by just introducing themselves and telling us if y'all have, especially you, Bernard, and you, Miss Ladybug, who has her own business as well. So introduce yourselves, tell us about what you have going on, and then we're going to hop right on into it.
All right. How y'all doing? My name is Bernard. I hear an echo. Okay. My name is Bernard Hines, a.k.a. The Laugh Therapist. And listen, Ms. Rachel Hunter, thank you for having us tonight. You are the licensed therapist. I am the unlicensed therapist, but I'm not licensed. I'm not licensed. I'm just medicated. So please don't take this advice. Take it with a grain of salt before you use it. And this is my lovely wife.
I'm Mrs. Laugh Therapist, Trish Hines, and I write most of his jokes.
Yes, she does.
But we are so happy to be here again.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, Rachel. And not long ago, I started my business. It's called OCD Cleaning Services. And what we do is we do move in and move out services. You know, we work with realtors. If you're moving out of your house, you need your house, prepared to sell, things of that nature. But due to COVID, we don't do any type of in-house with people, that are still living there.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of jobs. It's been fun.
It's been fun working together.
It's been fun.
Awesome. Congratulations.
And I am a professional comedian. So tonight, if you're going to have a little laughter, if you don't want to laugh, you're on the wrong Zoom. Have a good
Yes.
time.
He is hilarious, you all. So you are going to definitely be laughing. If you are looking for ways to enhance, boost your mood, your family's mood, book him. He can do virtual. For those of y'all who are in HR and you're looking for an act, something, a person that can come in, help get the mood, and elevate, a good
Clean.
yes, good clean comedy.
One man for a company. They
Yeah.
said they got sick and tired of having Zoom after Zoom, so they wanted to do something different for
Yes.
coworkers, and I am different.
Yeah. So look, where Bernard, where can they find information? How can
All social media at The Laugh Therapist or at my webpage is www.thelaughtherapist.com.
Awesome, awesome. And Miss Trish, how can they, for those of y'all who are moving, for you realtors, we have a lot of realtors in this area. So for those of y'all who are looking for someone that is going to be OCD about it and get it clean and make sure that it's looking how it needs to look, check her out. How can they get with you?
www.ocdcleaningservices.biz.
Awesome.
.biz. And
BIDS?
and y'all see me look to the left, my daughter's boyfriend just walked in and I got to keep my eye on him. He just snuck him in.
Look, and that's the best way to do it when the parents are busy.
Yeah.
We did the same thing.
Yes. All right. Are you still hearing the feedback or the echo, Bernard?
No, let's go.
All right, perfect. All right. So we are going to hop right into it. Tonight we're talking about blended families. So obviously they are experienced and have experience with the blended family. So we're going to jump right into the questions. Start by telling us how long y'all have been married, and then let's kind of go into the story of how the blendedness occurred.
Well, we've been married for 45 years.
25?
45.
Oh, okay. You're looking good.
Well, the Bible says, speak those things that be not as though they were. So I'm going to say,
there you go.
but technically, we've been married for 8 years, be 9 in December.
Okay.
8 years, be 9 in December. And when I met this young lady, I had 3 kids.
Okay.
One was already in college, and I had a 6 and a 4-year-old, and she had an 18-year-old, and she was ready to live her life.
Oh,
but God so fit for her to meet me at the Funny Bone one night.
Ah.
Yeah, met me at the Funny Bone, and we sat down, and she was buying a lot of stuff.
What he did was he made me fall in love with him, and then told me, "You have a lot of mothering in you left."
Oh, that's how he snuck that in.
That is. And I always, the more she drank, the more she accepted it. So, but yeah, it was one thing my grandmother has always told me, which is a true. She said, "Love is blind, but marriage is an eye opener."
Wow. Yes. Yes. So
the marriage is an eye opener.
Yeah, especially when we're talking about bringing 2 families together.
Correct.
So you had how many children did you have? Okay, so you had 3 children.
Right.
And then Trish, you had 1 child.
Yeah.
Okay, who was an adult. And now y'all got married.
And it was good because I was down for the every other weekend. Yeah, the kids are with their mom every other weekend.
Okay.
4 months after we get married, we get the kids full time.
Okay, back up. What conversations, when y'all notice and you're kind of thinking about, hey, we are loving each other, we want to get married, what did that conversation sound like related to the kids, and how that would, did that conversation come up? Was that an issue because they were living with their mom, or what? Did y'all have any conversation about blended family, what that looks like, what it might look like, what the roles would be? Did it even come up?
Yeah, but with me, I had a PhD in blended families.
Gotcha.
When I was growing up, I was in a blended family. My
Okay.
uncles, my aunts, when they got married and the uncle divorced the wife, he still could come to the other uncle could still come to grandma's house. So
Gotcha.
he was still uncle. So to me, a blended family was like, hey, once you leave, you are still family. She didn't have a GED in blended family.
Okay.
So we talked about it.
Yeah.
Talked about it, but we didn't go in depth. Because like I said, I had a son in college.
Okay.
He had a son that was 18. He was about to go on with his life. And a 7 and a 5 that was living with their mom.
Gotcha.
So we just thought it was going to be us and the kids every other weekend.
Okay.
So she was all, she was getting it. And plus she lived in Raleigh. So when she would come down from the weekend or I would go see her, it was like, I don't see you during the week. So I see you on the weekend. It was like a natural high. So it was a lot of stuff that we really didn't sit down and get that good. Yeah. Really,
Gotcha. Okay. So before I come back in, and I want to start with you, Trish, what your experience was like hearing that, okay, wait, now the kids are going to be living there. I'm going to pull in. So welcome, Amanda. Welcome, Courtney. Hello, and welcome, Ashley. We have Joe Iman tuning in from Birmingham, Alabama. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Sheldon, tuning in from Virginia Beach. Welcome. Make sure that you all invite your friends, share this, like this. Okay, so we're talking about blended families and this beautiful couple. We have the husband who has a PhD in blended family. This was the norm. This was regular for him. And then we have Miss Trish, and this was not her norm. Her son was an adult and was, pretty much, not necessarily in the picture. Bernard's children were younger, but they were with their mother. And then, Trish, you find out, hey, the children are coming to stay with you. What thoughts, what feelings, what was that like thinking about that? And what maybe were some thoughts and fear that you might have had? What was you thinking?
Let me be the beat. When people start cussing, you gotta let me be beep, beep, beep. Go ahead, baby.
Initially, it was. I thought it was going to be fun. Okay. How crazy my mind was. I'm like, okay, the kids will live here. I'm getting their rooms and stuff together. And initially, it was great. Okay. But once we settled, why are you hitting my leg?
He said, I've been talking trash about my kids.
Everything is going great now. I don't, when everything is going great, you don't want to say nothing's going to fall us back.
Disclaimer, they have worked through this and things are going well. Y'all are helping other people who are in this situation, thinking about getting in the situation and maybe giving them advice, feedback. So they're learning. So y'all are sharing and helping. So go right ahead.
Here's the thing. I only look at it from my perspective. I looked at it as my whole world is changing. I got these little ones. And everything I got to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it from their perspective as in, okay, we're coming to live with dad, but this is not mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love her because they told me straight up from the beginning. They called me mom from day one.
Wow.
But how can I say it? I didn't look at it from their perspective as kind of like they were leaving their mom to come do life with us.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it from the perspective of, she said they could come, but still she's kind of losing her kids. I didn't look at it from that perspective.
Mhm.
And look at it from that's all he wanted was to have his family together.
Yeah.
So I kind of got stuck in the middle where I'm like, man, this is not what I want to do, but this is making him happy.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I faked it as long as I could,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
made the doors of the hell just opened up.
Yeah. And I got to the point where I was like, I expected her to go along.
Gotcha.
You love me. I'm getting my kids. You know this what I want. So you should go along to get along.
Get along.
But one thing I did learn, and I want to say this to brothers, you can't please two households.
Mm-hmm.
You can't please two households. You can only please one household. You can be cordial with other households, but it's one household that you have to please, and that's the one you with.
Yeah.
So I found myself in
He didn't have any boundaries.
right. I didn't have any boundaries. It was like, let's make sure the kids are happy. We adults, we can get over it. Let's just, hey, whatever they need, whatever. And I had 2 boys and a daughter. Now, my little angel, my little daughter, her name is Rachel. Now, she's an angel. She is my little angel. But if you notice from the Bible, there was an angel that got kicked out of heaven. So now she is 17, but when we had our little talks and everything, she said, yeah, Dad, I did a lot of little stuff that you really didn't see.
Right.
Okay. Okay. There, y'all are hitting on a lot. Hello and welcome, Archie. You all are hitting on a lot. Trish, what was the challenge for you? And then Bernard, I want you to kind of talk as well about some of the boundaries that maybe you looking back on, you're like, I should have put in place. But Trish, what was like some of the biggest challenges for you being stepmom?
I think it was the discipline piece because he was never the disciplinarian.
Okay.
For me, you know, I had a son, and our life was just so structured. You know, we had peace.
I hate that word, structure.
We had peace. We didn't have no drama. Everything was boom, 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 boom. But when we added this part into them coming to live with us, there was no discipline. I'm like, they got away with everything. I'm like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't realize, because we didn't really sit down and talk about it prior to them coming, he should have been the one that was doing the discipline, not me.
Right.
So
that was a mistake.
Okay,
Right.
because that was one of the questions that people had kind of talked about, asked about, and I said we're going to make sure that we have, talk about that. I'm hearing y'all say that the discipline should come from the parent of the particular set of children. That should come for the parent.
Why you getting boundaries? You should be the one that let your kids know right and why she is there though.
Yeah.
Not why she's somewhere else. Why she is there. I had to let them know, look, this is how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm. He needs to be the bad guy, not me.
Correct. Because they always going to love me regardless. Right. I could make them mad, but if she make them mad is something, totally different. So I had to realize I had to be the one that really set the boundaries and the structure, but I didn't know how to do that myself because all I wanted them to be was happy.
Yeah.
Until we went to counseling. That's what I wanted to. We went to counseling, plus we had mentors who spoke to us as if y'all wrong for that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is my wife.
Yeah.
But Trish, her big cleaning business is OCD. So Trish is an OCD type person. So everything has to be boom, 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 boom. I don't used to that. I'm used to let's just let it be. So sometimes when the kids would get in trouble, my daughter knew how to play me and just look at me a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, Come on, man. All she did was burn down the room, man. All she did was burn down the room.
Right.
But this is one of the main things I always tell people when they come into a blended family. People always say, well, I see the kids the same. This is me personally. That's
Okay. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
a lie. If your child, if they live in the same house, if your child do something and that other child do the exact same thing, if it's bad, you're going to see it different. Just acknowledge that. Now, don't mean I'm going to handle it different. Mm-hmm. But when you see your baby face kind of disappointed, as a parent, that just does something to you. Yeah. So you have to acknowledge that. As it's like racism. When people say, I ain't racist, look, yeah. I don't see color. Mm-hmm. You see when that child does something, because our oldest two lived here for a year. Our oldest two lived here for a year, and she was texting. She was taking pictures of my son, texting it to me at work. I'm like, what in the heck? So now I'm thinking, like, I'm at work now. When I come home, like, it's gonna be some bull crap going on. Your son done something that you don't put up. So it's like, understand that there are going to be biases, but you got to work through those and be open and honest. When she realized that her life went from sitting on the island, drinking a tea, some liquor in it, to a category 5 hurricane. Yeah. Because it went from kids need school stuff. She went, but it was in her, but she fought it. That until one day she just got mad at me and she said, well, why am I here? And I said, I don't know. Ask God.
Let me pause it right there. I am definitely hearing all of the emotions that go into connecting, engaging, and bringing two families together. And when you go from living a certain way, having expectations, and just experiencing things the way that you always have, and then it's two of y'all coming together, and then we bring in the whole other dynamic. Now, mind you, I think I heard y'all say this was shortly after y'all got married. So 4 months. So y'all haven't even had the chance really to connect and living together as just the two of y'all. Then we bring in this whole other dynamic of children. So definitely it's a lot. And I hear what y'all are saying to people who are thinking about getting into it or are currently in it. There are things that are necessary, conversations to be had, but even sometimes conversations can't prepare you for what happens when you get in it. And so being open, being willing to be honest with yourself about your biases, and just kind of being aware that, we might need some help. We might need some support and some mentors during this process. Now, I want to ask the audience. So we're going to have our first poll question. So Trish has kind of talked about, and Bernard has kind of talked about what their challenges were as being a step parent. So I want to ask you all, for those of y'all who are step parents, what are the biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge that you face or have faced as a step parent? And just hearing what they're sharing, it is very challenging, especially, and Trish, you hit it on the head when you were saying, it was hard at first to kind of look at it from their perspective. It was very me-centered. I did not, wait a minute, I did not sign up for this. We did not talk about this. And
when we was growing up, when mom and dad separated and mom found somebody else, all we was told, go along, get along. You ain't had no say. You ain't had no, and if we could be real as kids, we had a problem sometimes going into this blended family with this man who I know didn't like me, but he married you. So kids can feel that when that person really genuinely don't have no love for me.
Yeah.
But when my dad come around, or when my mom come around, you treat me totally different. But when they're away, now you act in a certain way. So yeah, it is real, because when you think about, the key word is blended family.
Yeah.
When you got a blender, okay, when you put everything in that blender is nice, but in order to get it to mesh, when you hit that, it cuts.
Yeah.
It cuts stuff up. You cut up. You go through the ringer. You go through the ringer. But once you get to the end of it and you pour it out, it's all smooth. So it's gonna be some blending. It's gonna be some cutting. It's gonna be some stuff. But at the end, we can say now, we pouring smooth.
Yeah.
Now, she had, and that was awesome. She had an older son. What was your relationship like with him, Bernard, coming into his life?
Well, she had, I call him Jesus. I call him Jesus. So.
What was it like? What were some challenges you faced with Jesus?
Now, Nick was smooth.
Okay.
Nick was smooth. Nick problem was he had an overbearing mom who did not allow him to make mistakes.
Oh, helicopter mom.
Right. So when Nick got together, it was like, he was like, this is a breath of fresh air. Like, thank you.
Gotcha.
It's like, Mom, okay, I got this. Can you just, but I didn't realize how tight their relationship was, because I had realized that the relationship her and Nick had is the relationship I wish me and my mom had.
Wow, gotcha.
She is the ultimate mom when it comes to boom, 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 making sure. But me and Nick, we got along great.
Gotcha.
We got along great. Nick and my oldest son, them two are like this. You better not tell them they ain't brothers.
Now that's the other question, because there are very many, and even in when we work with families, that sometimes is not the case. We have the two groups of children going at it. Right. And sometimes for the boys, having that male figure come in can be intimidating. It can be threatening. And so do you think that that's, an anomaly that you guys happen to hit it off, or, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it comes from living with a stepfather. I treated Nick how I wish he would have treated me.
Gotcha.
So I had that perspective of, I know how I wanted to be treated from the man that my mom married. So this is how I'm gonna go at it at you. And like when Nick first got there, he wanted to be in the room. He didn't want to be bothered with nobody. And Trish was like, well, he need to come out. No, he don't.
Okay.
Allow him to be in there. We're going to have fun. Eventually, he going to want to know what's going on out here. And then eventually what's going on? And I started talking his lingo. I started talking about the PlayStation game. I started talking about the NBA. I started talking about him. So he was like, okay, he just ain't no old stuck up funny.
Yeah.
So it was like, because we got to realize, when two people come together and we bring kids, their lives change too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we fail to realize. Their lives change too. And they got to go from this parent, then go back to that parent. You don't want to alienate that parent. You don't want to alienate the parent you're with. You don't want to say the wrong thing if you go over there. You don't want to say you like being at dad's house. You don't want to say you like me. So we got to realize they go through a lot also.
Yeah. Let me bring in some of the comments. Hello and welcome, Dion. So before I get to the comments, what I'm hearing you say is that a good way that what you did, your technique to connect with her son, was to kind of think about what your experience had been growing up, did the opposite of it, and kind of gave him his space. And then when he did come out, so you didn't try to force yourself on him, you gave him his space. And when he came out, you showed interest in him and you connected and engaged with him.
But this one, he was always disrespectful. So it wasn't him talking back to his mom, him cussing his mom out. So it wasn't no need for me to be. Let me tell you something. We go. You know what I'm saying? So you got to manage that situation. Now, if he cussing at mom, putting his hands on mom, coming in when he wants, now we got to go to another level.
Gotcha. Yeah. Welcome, Chops. So Amanda says, so again, the poll is what was some challenges that as step parent you may have faced. And Amanda says, being a stepmom to a dad with a daughter. Woo! And we're going to talk about the female versus males, how that whole dynamic is. I have 2 boys. Daddy's little girl is the princess of the house. They have an amazing bond, but we often feel excluded. Trish, tell me about that. Was that your experience? What are your thoughts about that?
It was always like a conversation going. And when I come into the room, everybody just, they had their little, and then he wouldn't always be readily able to tell me because he knew I would react a certain way. But it's like she had his ear, and I'm like, I'm your wife. Not realizing that we both needed him, we both wanted him, but he didn't know how to just have boundaries.
Gotcha.
The time and a place for all of that. And one thing I said to them that I regret today, back, years ago, I said, listen, I only love y'all because I love your dad. And that was out of anger.
Heat of the moment.
And that was wrong. That's wrong.
And
that happens.
That happens. But when it happens, you as the parent need to apologize.
Yeah.
And that's what she did.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that one thing I realized that from therapy and counseling is I can't shield my kids from being disappointed. I wanted to shield them from being hurt, disappointed, upset. But Miss Amanda, I don't know how old the little princess is, but when my little princess was 7, 8, 9, 10, it was daddy. Now she 17, 18, got a little stinking little boyfriend here. I'm still daddy, but I ain't, that changes. But
you call me first.
Right. To the point now, her relationship goes to her first.
Gotcha.
Because she had to understand that bond. But for right now, I would say I don't know how long it's been for them. She's 7. Okay. She really don't understand.
Yeah.
Women, let me say this the right way. Women at any age knows how to be manipulative. Period, point blank.
Period, point blank. They are, and that is important. So she mentioned that her sons are 13 and 9, and Dion said that he, kind of mentioned about the fact of what you mentioned, that her son was a good product already. When we are talking about daughters versus sons, there is a difference. Even in how they process things and how they express themselves. So there is a difference. And, you mentioned manipulation. Sometimes females, they can do things because they are different. We are different. We are different in how we go about getting or attempting to get what we want. Let me jump to ask you guys some more of the questions. What was the hardest lesson you learned about being in a blended family?
I think one of the lessons I learned, what I said is trying to shield them from the disappointment.
Okay.
The disappointment of, me and mom not getting back together. The disappointment of, this is my wife now. You live in this house.
Yeah.
These are these rules. I'm sorry your life is turned upside down, but we're going to make the best. So if I had came a little earlier with that, I believe it would have went a little smoother. But my thing is, one of the biggest things I'm going to say was, I learned that you can't please two households. You have to have boundaries and let everybody know let your yay be yay and let your nay be nay. I was in that gray area. I was like a drunk driver. I was swerving this lane, I go in this lane, and I learned a lot about agreeing to everything or agreeing to some things without talking to her.
Now talk about that, because I know that very many people that are in these blended relationships, that's something that they're going to deal with.
Yeah. I had to learn that almost whatever I agree to, it's going to affect her in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So at least give her the benefit of what I'm thinking about doing or what I'm thinking about saying. I mean, I would agree to something with my ex and then come back and ask her, well, how do you feel about that? And she was like, you done already made your decision.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you want me to look like the bad person or be like, no, so, excuse me, I had to realize that this is my wife. Okay. Not saying my ex don't matter, because she is the kid's parents.
Yeah.
But until that got together, I had to realize I got to make sure this is good, because I can agree all day over there. I don't live there.
Exactly. Yeah.
The hell is gonna be here.
Yes.
It's gonna be here. So it get to the point where, you just have to realize that you can't please everybody, and you just let your yay be yay and your nay be nay.
Yeah. I'm going to, Trish, I want to ask you that same question. Archie is saying great information. I'm going to pull in a few more comments. Chop Gibbs, welcome. He is saying, stepdad, two boys that lost their father coming up on the 2-year mark in the relationship. And this is him answering the poll question. The older one's relationship is good. The younger one is hot and cold. I can really tell he misses his father, so I don't want to overstep, being that I work a lot and we live apart right now. And that is important. Not overstepping. And what you are pointing out, Chop, is something that very many people deal with. And even for you, Bernard, I want you to kind of speak to that after Trish talks about her lesson. That not overstepping and recognizing, and y'all hit it on the head earlier, where you mentioned that looking at it from the perspective of the children. And I think sometimes they're left out of the equation sometimes. So Chop, that's really awesome that you're even perceiving, what this child might be going through, and, are thinking about that. So definitely not overstepping. But Bernard gave a good tip earlier, which was, not throwing yourself on that person, kind of letting him, know that you're there, know that you're available, that you care about them, but letting them kind of set the tone. So,
you can get back to suggestion. Maybe if y'all in the same area, if you can do, even though it's coming up on a 2-year relationship, maybe you can take him to the gravesite.
Wow.
You stay in the truck and you let him know, hey, I'm here for you. Go, if you want to go have a time with your father. He might turn around and say, I want you to come with me, because he sees that you have a vested interest in his feelings.
Right.
That probably could be something that could take place.
That is a good idea. Just kind of see how he feels, put it out there, and then kind of go from there. And that might be just the thing that sparks it. The other piece to recognize too, Chop, is that children, this is new for them. And they are kind of testing to see how you're going to be. Are you really genuinely interested in them? And it's scary. It's a big adjustment. So that hot and cold that you're getting might be because of fear. What is this going to look like? I don't really want to put myself out there, because if I get connected to him or to you and you leave also, then what? So sometimes that fear is there. So, but that's awesome, Chop, that you're in that, you're trying to be there. Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
I think for me, what is it, the toughest thing?
Yeah, maybe a lesson that you learned.
I learned.
The hardest lesson that you learned about being in the, in a blended family.
I think, first of all, I'm an only child.
Mm.
My son is an only child.
Strange people.
And selfish. For me, I was very selfish.
Gotcha.
I didn't consider. I only looked at my life, how things were just chaotic for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really realize that it was the same for the kids. So a lot of times, and then I wanted my fairy tale. My was, I'm marrying the man of my dreams. We're gonna live happily ever after. We're gonna do this every other weekend thing, and everything is gonna be good. So I had some anger because coming off of my honeymoon, we walking down the ramp, coming off of the plane.
I made some mistakes.
And he tells me that his oldest son, it's Christmas times. We got married in December. Oh, by the way, Sherrod is at the house.
And he's in college, so he could have went anywhere. He could have.
Yeah.
You just now telling me. Now we've been away for a whole week. You just now telling me when we get to get ready to get off the plane that, oh, by the way,
she still need to go to the doctor for deliverance on that.
So I was mad about that. I was mad that my fairy tale didn't manifest like I thought it should have.
Yeah.
Then just being angry from my perspective, what I felt like the kids were doing, and him and mom were having their little sidebar conversations. So I was just mad.
Mm-hmm.
I was bored. I just wanted to sit in my diaper and my poop and
what really came out of this for her is she had a control issue.
Yeah. It had to be my way.
Yeah. Period. She wanted to control the conversations, everything.
Not realizing that this is not going to be this way forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids grow up, and my thing was, okay, so how are they going to see me once they get older? And I don't want to be that old stepmother, mean, evil.
Yeah.
So I really it took me a while. I fought God, and I had to really get myself in check to understand that they have a mom, but they have extra. It's not like we're competing against each other. I love over there, and we're gonna make this work.
Yeah.
But also what I had to do was I had to earn her trust to know that if I make a decision, it's going to be a decision, not a wishy-washy decision. It's going to be something that I have her best interest involved too.
Yeah. And that part is important. And I think for the women, the stepmothers in the pictures, and this is what we hear all the time, is not feeling like they are a part of the conversations, a part of the process. And so I'm hearing you all say that as well, that in order for this thing to work, we have to be on the same page so that one, the children see that we're on the same page. You're not going to play us. But then also the other parent sees that we are a unit. You're not coming in here. And it's not always like that, but sometimes there can be divisive things that are done. And so you all together have to be on the same page and be communicating.
Right.
So I definitely hear that. Dion is saying, wow, that's good. The second poll question for you all is, what was the hardest lesson that you learned? And maybe, and Trish kind of hit on it, but a second part to that question is, what did y'all learn? So audience, I want you to think about this and answer. What did you learn about yourself during this whole process? And Trish, I heard the transparency where you said, hey, I learned that one, I had some flawed perceptions and some cognitive distortions going on. I was thinking that it was supposed to be a fairy tale, right? I had my shoulds. Well, this is how it should be. And then you kind of learn the selfishness and the controlling part of you. And this ain't gonna work. Not if this is, what we're trying to do. And Bernard, I hear you say that you had to learn that you really had difficult time setting boundaries. And that fear on your part of failing your children or looking like a failure to them, or not being able to, you didn't want to disappoint them.
Correct. I think a lot of people need to understand their childhood trauma.
Mm.
If we understand our childhood trauma, that would help us in this adult life. Because I had to learn, I was living my children's blended family situation through my blended family situation. Are they still love me? Are they being treated fair? All it's just stuff that I went through, I could see I was making it seem like they going through that too. No, they had a father who was here.
Yeah.
They had a stepmother who might have been mean as hell. No. They had a stepmother who was here.
Yeah.
So it's a mess. And I wrote this down. I'm sorry to be taking over. We also have to realize that there are other family members that play an aspect in this that could really put a detriment to your blended family.
Talk about that.
That ain't your daddy. That ain't your daddy. I'm your mama. You know, or you go see what's going on over there? How they do? What they do? You know what I'm saying? So now kids are loyal. They want to be loyal.
Yeah.
So they don't want to, so I have learned that kids are going, whatever environment they're in, they're going to give you what you want to hear so my life will be good.
And that part.
I like it better over here, mama. Daddy, I like it better over here, daddy. And we be real with ourselves as parents in a blended family when it ain't going that good. That's
ego. Yeah.
That's your ego. We got it good over here. We living like God over here. They like being over here. Come on.
Yeah. Yes. And that's important. And that's even outside of blended family. Children will, that's teens, that's children for you. They are going to try to get what they can. And so they will try to divide and conquer and try to be manipulative sometimes. So just recognizing that and knowing that. And so, yeah, you hit that right on the head. Let me ask you all this. If you had it to do all over again, would you do it?
Yeah.
The sex is I think if you could ask Trish that question about, we've been married 8 years. If you ask that Trish that question about 4 years ago, she'd be like, nah.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah. Because as she said, the kids are going to grow up.
Yeah.
This thing is going to get better.
Yeah.
It is what it is now. I mean, she come from a sheltered life. You know what I'm saying? We went to court. She almost had to get a volume and she went in the courtroom and she's like, I ain't never been no court. And
this is what y'all do.
Her son and my youngest son was fighting one day and he went to school with a black eye. So the school asked him what happened. He said, my brother punched me in the eye. So yes, came to the house.
I was like, oh my God.
To me, that was normal people.
Baby away.
So it was like crazy. She wasn't, but I told her, you are living a life now. You ain't had no life before. You now. It's like, welcome. So much about herself.
Yeah.
That to the fact now, you would have never thought couples come to us that talk about a blended family. Because people have said, those kids ain't y'all.
Right.
I didn't know they want y'all kids.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted it to be like. There is no difference. It's gonna be different, but there is no standout.
And we don't use the word step parent.
I was wondering about that.
But yeah, we don't use that word.
I never did because somebody broke it down to me, and I'm not going to say it because I'm going to get it wrong. But the word step and how it, I want the kids to know this is either my blended mom. Now, My kids wanted to call her mom.
Mhm.
Okay. Nick was 18. He wasn't going to call me dad. Was not going to make him call me dad.
Yeah.
Didn't want him to call me Mr. Hines. She was like, well, what is he going to call you?
Yeah.
Nick, just call me VH.
Mhm.
Bernard Hines. I said, just call me my initials. That pleased him. And the thing is, what am I going to call this Negro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, man, just call me VH.
What does he call you?
And now he called me Pops.
And that's it.
But that's what all the kids called me. So he wants to be, now he called me Pops.
Yeah. That's the other thing that, it is something to be considered. What is the child, what are the children going to call the other, parent? Is there a formula for it?
Right.
What do y'all think about that? What would you say to other parents?
I would say whatever they feel comfortable calling them, because it's not about, oh, it makes me feel good if you will call him dad. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's what you feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say that too, but we got to break away from that old tradition back in the day. Oh, that's Mr. So don't you, no, don't you disrespect. No. Disrespect is what you make disrespect.
Okay.
Now, if Nick wanted to call me Bernard at 18, I would have told Nick, I don't really appreciate you calling me Bernard.
Uh-huh.
I'd rather you call me VH.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because my kids don't call me Bernard. But if that's what you feel you want to do right now, I would have gave him that leeway and wouldn't have found it as disrespectful. Because my thing is, I want to gain your trust and let you know, because he could have been playing. He could have been trying to see how far he can get. I'm 18. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying?
Now, if he were a teen, and not, if he were a child, calling you by your first name.
I ain't gonna do it. You're gonna call me VH.
Okay.
I'd rather go VH. Let's go VH. Or if you feel comfortable calling me Mr. Bernard, then that's what you can do, Mr. Bernard. However you feel, but it ain't gonna be no, hey, Bernard. It ain't gonna be there.
Let me hear. I'm gonna pull in some other comments from the audience, but the third poll is, what are you comfortable with your stepchildren calling you? So Chop is saying absolutely, just from a different aspect. Now it's a lot harder than I thought, but the end result will be worth it. And that kind of goes to what y'all were saying. They're not going to be this age forever. Enjoy this time if you can with them. You get a chance to sow a seed into a child. Joy Iman says, that's a word. They grow older and things get better. Let's see. Geraldine said, hello and welcome, Geraldine. She said, that's what I always say. How old? And I don't know exactly what comment that is connected to, but thank you for commenting, Joy. I'm sorry, Geraldine. Chevette says, that's right. The steps we use are in the house. So she also kind of agrees that, hey, we don't use the stepchild, stepmom thing. And
also is each is own house. If they use step parent, it don't make it. You have to do what's right for your house and how you sit your family down and say, listen, we don't want to use step in this family. Make sure everybody understands why we don't want to use that, because I want to include all of y'all. So, you have to, the thing about is inclusive. And you're going to have some kids that don't want to be included. You're going to have that. 18.
Yeah. Dion said, I'm other dad. Kind of feel like a superhero. So instead of stepdad, it's, I'm other dad. Let's see. Joy gave the ages for the children, 16, 13, 8, and 7. Helen said, hello and welcome, Helen. Helen said, other dad, they just feel like they have two dads. And so that love is there. Natasha, welcome and hello. Other dad is sweet. She's saying yes. And Dion certainly likes it. Natasha said, mine's call me my mom and mommy. Wow. Wow. We also have bonus babies. I like that. I definitely like that. Dion said, I had the best stepdad ever. I just called him Dad Mike or Dad Mike. The Mike.
See, the
um,
reason you got to be careful with what you have the kids call you, because if the kids are with their other parent
yes.
and they on the phone talking to you and they say, tell mom I said, hello. They might get off the phone and be like, who you calling mom?
Exactly.
I'm the mom. Everybody needs to be on one accord of what we calling each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps down a lot of confusion, keeps down a lot, and we all have to, it's a maturing thing.
It is.
It's a mature, because when we start off, we made some of the dumbest decisions, some of the dumbest things in the world. I mean, but we matured through it, and I didn't want our kids to sit around the table when they're this age right now and be like, you never loved me. You didn't try to love me. Now we sit back and we just die laughing about some of the same stuff we went through. So it's just
It sounds like you're saying for those that are thinking about joining into a blended family and are in a blended family, and it's not yet, the nice part yet, to hold on, stick in there. It does get better. What would y'all say is, Trish, what is what you love most about being in a blended family?
Ooh. I think what I love most is that they really, the kids really, I feel like they love me. They genuinely love me. So I may be flawed, they're flawed, but we all understand each other, and we give grace to each other, and we tolerate the differences. And it's just like there's no more, because there was a point where I felt like I had to walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
Couldn't say this or do this, but now it's like everything is just coming full circle. We talk in love all the time, regardless of what the situation is. It's just love. It's natural now. It's just, I love it. It's just natural. It's not phony. It's not forced. It's just natural. They can come to me and say something, ask me something. I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. Be like, Mom, you are a trip. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
And they leave it there. And where before they would come to me or come to Dad and try to get us against each other. But now it's like, I know that she loves me. I know that she has my best interest. So if I go to Mom and ask her something or tell her, don't tell Dad, then they know I'm not going to do that until, him and I in the room together. And I'll be like, you know what?
Same question for you, Bernard.
I just love it.
I think the part about blended family is affecting another child's life, and you didn't birth that child, or you didn't have anything. Because I have another daughter. She's 30. She's 30, and I raised her. So even though she has a father, she still calls me dad. And with Nick, to see the way he accepts my correction, he accepts my things I say to him. It's like mentoring. If I was a coach, I would go out here and I would mentor that child, and I would make sure that child could do the best thing and all that. Now this is my wife's child.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I want to do the same thing for him? And one of the main things I wanted Nick to know was, and this was it, I loved his mom. If that child know you genuinely love their parent, things can be just a little bit smoother.
Yeah. I want to thank you all for sharing your wisdom, being vulnerable and transparent about this journey that you have been on, one that has been very challenging, but one that has also, it sounds like, been very enriching in helping you to grow and mature as men, as women. And I want to thank you all in the audience for your questions, your feedback, your comments, and hopefully again, you all have learned something and that you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But while you're in this process, be open to it.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to look at yourself and to challenge yourself, but also to see things from your children's and bonus children's perspective. And give yourself and give them grace and time to learn, to grow, and to know that it is going to be something beautiful.
And I want if in the blended does not strengthen your prayer life, you ain't doing it right. That sucker will strengthen your life to the fact that we had to pray for the other spouse.
Yeah.
Because that's what our mentor said. When are you gonna start praying for their mom?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So it's we've learned a lot. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
listen, y'all can go to our website, www.thelaughTherapist.com. We got videos up there. My social media, you can find me at the Laugh Therapist. We do videos. We just like to love and make people laugh as we love being married and love couples.
Yes, and then OCD cleaning.
www.ocdcleaningservices.biz. B-I-Z.
Yes, thank you all. Again, this has been Relationship Friday. Join us next Friday. We will not. That's Thanksgiving. So go back, check out one of our other lives. Enjoy it. Have a safe holiday. Stay safe. Be safe. Thank you all for joining with us. Again, if you are in the need of therapy, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to partner with you and your husband, your wife, as y'all are trying to get your blended family the healthiest that it can be. Y'all stay safe, be blessed, and thank you and good night.